Many Indian students dream of studying in Canada, hoping to gain work experience through the post-graduation work permit and eventually settle there. But things are changed. The Canadian government has introduced new language rules that will make it really hard for some students to qualify for PGWP. So, if you are an Indian student planning to study in Canada, here is everything that you need to know. Earlier, there was a rule that only students from certain study fields can get a PGWP. This made it very difficult for many college graduates to even qualify. But now, the Canadian government has removed this particular restriction. Whether you study business, healthcare, or any other program at a college, you are eligible for PGWP after completing your studies. This change does not affect university graduates as they never had this restriction. However, starting November 1st, 2024, students applying for PGWP must prove their English or French proficiency with a specific test score. The required score depends on your education level. University graduates, that is bachelor's, master's or PhD, must achieve Canadian language benchmark, that is CLB 7 or NCLC 7 in all 4 language skills, that is reading, writing, listening and speaking. Meanwhile, college graduates need to meet CLB 5 or the NCLC 5 requirement. This means that simply completing a program is no longer enough to get a PGWP. Now, students must also clear a language test to qualify. Many Indian students, specifically those coming from regional language backgrounds, might find this requirement really challenging. While let me tell you that not all students have to follow these new language rules. There are some exceptions too. Students who started their course before November 1st, 2024 are exempted from these new language requirements, which means that those who are already studying in Canada before this date do not need to worry. Additionally, flight schools graduates who are training to become pilots are automatically eligible for PGWP without any language test. Lastly, certain programs under curriculum licensing arrangements established before May 15, 2024 may not qualify for PGWP at all. This means that students enrolling in such programs must be very cautious and check whether their program makes them eligible for work permits or not. The duration of PGWP depends on the length of the student's study program. If the program was between 8 months and 2 years, then PGWP will match the length of the course. However, if the program was 2 years or more, then graduate can apply for 3-year PGWP. But here is something many students don't realize. Your passport must be valid for the full PGWP duration. If your passport expires before your PGWP does, you will have to apply for an extension after renewing your passport. This is not a simple process, by the way, as it requires a paper application which can take longer time than an online application. Many students fail to plan for this and end up dealing with unnecessary delays. For years, Indian students believed that going to Canada for higher education was the easiest pathway to work and settle there. But now, things are getting tougher. First, even getting a student visa itself has become more difficult. Many Indian students are struggling to get visa appointments and the approval rates have become stricter. The wait time for visa processing have also increased significantly, making it harder for students to plan their education. Second, studying in Canada has become more expensive. Tuition fees, rent and living cost has all risen, making it very difficult for students to manage their expenses. Many students rely on part-time jobs to support themselves, but competition for these jobs is high and restrictions on working hours make it challenging to earn enough. Now, with PGWP process becoming more complicated due to new language test requirements, many students who thought that they could make after graduation might face rejection if they don't score well on the test. This adds extra pressure on students as they not only have to focus on their course but also prepare for language exam. And finally, getting Canadian PR is not as easy as it used to be. Many Indian graduates have been stuck in Canada for years, waiting for PR. The express entry cutoff scores are increasing and immigration policies are changing frequently, making it uncertain for students who hoped for a smooth transition from a work permit to PR. This raises an important question for Indian students. Is studying in Canada still worth it? Well, many students spend their families' life saving to study abroad, expecting an easy pathway to work and settle. But with increased restrictions, longer wait time for PR, and stricter immigration rules, students must carefully evaluate their option. Before choosing Canada, make sure that you fully understand the new challenges.